let's get started and show you through the details. So this is just an introduction to myself. I'm the gentleman on the left-hand side, Christian. I'm the account manager here at IFOL, and I assist with everybody that's onboarding into the programs and just making sure that really, as a student, everybody understands exactly what they're doing and if they need any help, where to come. And I'm going to pass you over to my colleague, Sam.
Thanks, Christian. Hi, everyone. My name's Sam. I'm Partnerships Director at IFOL, and I tend to look after the partnerships that we have with some of our solution providers and career advice partners, and then also with some of the employers that roll out our programs on a larger scale, I would say. So nice to see you all here today. Thanks, Christian.
So first, just wanted to share a little bit about who we are as IFOL and what we're about. And so as you can see there, there's some of our core values. And so I just wanted to drop into and pick out two out of there really, just to share some more light on. So first thing for me is the passion. We at IFOL, we're so passionate about our clients, our partnerships, and everything that we do really is for and about them, because ultimately that's where the thrive and the drive for what our purpose is about. And also is our vision. We are always looking to add more value as a business. We do want to become the biggest and be known for the value that we add. And just at the bottom there, you can see is our actual mission is to make learning and development accessible to all financial operations professionals. So there you go, it just gives you a bit of insight about what we're about and who we are as an organisation, really. So here's a few of our students that we're working with, or sort of we say the companies of students that we're currently working with. You may recognise some of the bigger brands on there and even the slightly smaller ones in universities, but really just gives you an insight into the organisations that are attracted to what we do and some of the students that we're currently working with.
Yeah, Christian, that was good. So in terms of my side of things, as I mentioned, I deal with partnerships that we have with solution providers and with some of the career advice partners that we have, and then bigger employers. So this is just to kind of demonstrate to you some of the solution providers that we do work with and that we do take some knowledge from when it comes to some of our education programs and continuing education classes that we deliver. So I'm sure some of you recognise some of the brands there. And then from a careers aspect, we have a very strong partnership with an organisation called Walters People. They're a recruitment firm who are very specifically focused on transactional finance and payroll recruitment across Europe. We've got a number of offices in the UK, and they're a really good organisation for gaining insights into things like current trends with salaries for roles, specific roles within finance, year-on-year changes, increases and decreases in salaries and what the trends are there. And then, of course, they have lots of vacancies and provide lots of advice when it comes to looking for a new role. So that's why we're partnered very closely with Walters People. If you don't already know, they are actually part of the Robert Walters recruitment group, who I'm sure many of you will have heard of previously. So, without going into it too much right now, when you do complete the certification programs with us, one of the kind of things that we help with is career advice, and we kind of do that with or in partnership with Walters People. So Christian, back over to you.
Yeah, so one of the things people always ask me is, why should I become certified? Why is it relevant? And so I always find it's good to throw that question to our students, because at the end of the day, it's more about why they've done it. And is recognition and job security. I think at the moment we're all obviously feeling what's going on in the times that we're in, but by showcasing your knowledge through a standard and through a certificate, better place for holding your role. Within remuneration, everybody likes the opportunity of being able to earn more. So obviously by skilling yourself and your knowledge, you put yourself in an opportunity to be able to earn more, as you can bring more to the table and add more value in your business. And relevancy. earlier is continued development. As part of the program, you get access to our additional support forums and webinars, and that is about making sure that all the way through this you're keeping relevant. As I'm sure I can see one of our gentlemen on here, Bill, he was mentioning he's been in the industry for 20, 30 years, and I'm sure in his time there's been a massive, drastic change in what's going on. So it's really important you stay current and relevant to what's going on in the market at the moment. And so, Sam, just in regards to that, because obviously I've given you some insight into some of the students have told us, but again, from employers, you're speaking very close with our partners and with the likes of Walters people. What's their insight and why are they seeing it's important to become certified?
Yeah, well, obviously, as I mentioned, we work very closely with Walters people, and they've given us some really good insights, and they've joined us on one of our previous webinars where we were talking about what the market looks like at the moment for people looking for a new role. And currently, what they're reporting is that they're seeing about 3 times more applications per role, which roughly equates to sort of 90+ applications for a job. So what they're essentially saying to us is that now that they're seeing so many more applications, employers and recruiters who are on, I suppose, the front line there, need to find a way of bringing that number of 90 applications down to a short list of perhaps 5 or 6 CVs, and then filtering them down to 3 CVs for interviews, and then obviously 1 person that's going to be offered the job at the end of the process. So what we found from speaking to Walters People's recruitment experts is that employers are looking for something that stands people out from the crowd when it comes to CVs. And historically, I suppose experience has always been a big thing, but what I think is emerging quite a lot now is that years of experience isn't really the best yardstick for measuring people's kind of capabilities within a role. And I think, Christian, we were talking the other day about an article where it talks about, if you were learning the alphabet but you'd been doing it wrong for the last 20 years, does that mean that you're going to be the best at doing the job because you've been doing it for so long, even though you've been doing it wrong? Potentially, well, probably not. So I think what employers are looking for more so now, based on what we've learned over the last few weeks, is that they want to see a mix of experience and an industry, whether it's a qualification or certification, just a marker of I suppose, excellence or of a standard of knowledge within that specific job role.
Yeah.
Moving on from just getting the qualification and the certification, the next thing that people are looking for is, are you keeping yourself up to date with continuous education and attending educational webinars? Obviously, conferences aren't necessarily a thing at the moment due to the pandemic, but you should be kind of keeping yourself up to date with changes in the industry and new technology and different regulations that are changing that affect your job role. So, those are kind of things that we learned from Walters people about individuals. I think from a business perspective, reasons why employers are quite a few large employers are coming to us and wanting to put their teams through the programs is because of the heightened risks at the moment. So things like additional sort of fraud risks, with people working from home and the spike in kind of phishing emails and BEC scams and stuff like that. Employers are wanting to standardise knowledge, get everyone on the same page, and lower the risk of things like fraudulent payments or changes to supplier bank details and stuff like that then essentially leading to organisations making huge payments to companies that don't necessarily exist, and you can't get the money back. So there's definitely a mix of why people are becoming certified and why employers are wanting their teams to become certified, and all kind of very good reasons really as to why people are leaning towards that right now.
Definitely.
So I'll take you into now just have a look at the actual program. So the CAPP program CAPP stands for Certified Accounts Payable Practitioner, is the kind of overarching accounts payable program that we offer from IFOL. The program itself, it's made up of two sections really. So it's the foundation element and the management element that then make up the entire practitioner program. So you can essentially, become foundation qualified or management qualified, but what most people tend to do is complete both sections to then achieve the kind of highest level of accounts payable certification that we offer, which is they become a practitioner. So the foundation element is essentially what it says on the tin. It's the recommended starting point for everyone that comes to us that wants to do any of our programs. We get a lot of people who've got a lot of experience, which is great, and have been working in the industry for a long time, who want to jump straight to the management program. But we always recommend starting with foundation, because it's just such a great way to standardize your knowledge, refresh yourself or your knowledge and your skills, and also well, when you've worked at one company, it doesn't mean that all the other companies are going to do the same thing, or that the processes are going to be the same. So we always look to get everyone onto the foundation program to start off with, to get that foundation knowledge, and then progress into the management stage, then to help you achieve the CAPP certification. So just to kind of dig a little deeper then into the program, the foundation program itself, what does that cover? It really has a starting point for everyone. So whether you've worked in finance or payables before or not, the course itself starts off with a nice overview of what the AP role consists of, and what the career might look like for someone who's coming into an AP job role and wanting to progress. So it talks about where your career might lead to, what other opportunities might open themselves to yourself if you're progressing through the AP career path, and what sort of expectations you might have from a salary perspective as well. Then I'm sure those of you who work in finance at the moment, or in accounts payable at the moment, will understand that there's always a need for very strong customer service skills and stakeholder management skills. So we talk a lot about how you can improve your customer service skills, how you can manage those relationships with internal and external stakeholders, and then we also, as part of that, we have various assignments, tasks, and pieces of written work to complete to progress through the module. Then as you progress through that program, you come to the accounts payable processes and policies, and we look at how you can effectively improve different processes within the team, what process methodologies there are out there, and we talk about all the best practices around process improvement. Then we look at supplier setup, maintenance, and management. Within this section, there's a lot to do with reducing fraud risk. So I'm sure most people have heard of or seen an instance where they've had an email from what looks like a supplier asking to change bank details, and what should you do in that circumstance? Well, we take it back to basics and say, you should get on the phone, you should speak to that supplier and find out if it's a genuine request, or whether it's fraudulent or possible fraudulent request. And these are the kind of best practices that we teach within the course to ensure that you can reduce the fraud risk. Then we look at technology within finance, and that really covers a lot to do with automation. Sure, most people will be familiar with AP automation, and how there are so many different solutions available now, and there's a big focus on organisations implementing automation and cloud-based solutions, particularly since the pandemic. So what we teach within that module is a lot to do with how to identify what solution would be most relevant for your organisation, whether you need an AP automation solution, how to go about the setting up the project and implementing a solution, and then what kind of deliverables you might see and what kind of return on investment you might see, and also how to get buy-in from the organisation. If you, as the AP manager, want to implement that type of solution, how do you get the finance leaders to buy in, and how do you build a business case for that as well? So there's lots in that section, and very relevant at the moment, particularly with lots of organisations recruiting people for those specific projects. Then we look at travel and entertainment and expenses. It is pretty much what it says on the tin, and then the course kind of finishes off with a large section and module that talks about internal controls and risk management, which again is a massive focus for organisations. So to kind of summarise that program itself, you're probably looking at roughly 40 hours worth of learning. Most people tend to spread it over sort of 3 to 6 months, although you do get access to the course for 12 months. And the outcomes from that program, from an individual's perspective, is that you essentially put yourself in a position where you've got the skills and understanding of things that lots of businesses are currently looking for. And so whether you're looking for a new role or whether you're looking to progress within the company that you're in at the moment, it just puts you in a prime position, essentially.
Sorry, mate, just jumping in. I mean, I'm not going to mention names, but we were actually speaking with an organisation this morning, and just to put into context, this organisation processes 500,000 invoices annually, if I was correct from what we were saying. And so, again, this is just, they've got AP, teams of 70, big organisations, and they're looking at this now and making sure that it's something that's put through as a standard in their organisations as well. So, just to give you insight, the size of organisations that are looking at these sort of skill sets now, and making sure that they're a standard in their businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you know, Christian, we're speaking with a number of very large organisations that want to set this up as essentially an academy within their own organisation. And that is really about standardising knowledge, reducing risk, and just improvement, really, continuous education and improvement for the entire team. So I think, as time goes on, it will be, kind of an expectation that, if you're applying for a role within accounts payable, you're not just kind of relying on experience, you are also showing that you've been kind of maintaining your continuous education, but also you've maybe got a qualification or a certification behind you as well. So just to kind of move on then in terms of the next stage within the program, this is the management module or the management level within the CAPP program. Similar in terms of length and depth. So roughly 40 hours. You get access to the course materials for about for 12 months, in fact. And in terms of the content of this level, it's very much focused on leadership management and people management particularly. So as you'll see from the modules listed there, we talk about leading and motivating the AP team. I'm sure there's lots of people out there who very good managers, but have struggled maybe in the past or maybe right now with motivating the AP team. How do you do that from a distance, when you've got your teams working from home? Well, in this course, we talk about, what are the key motivators for people, and how can you motivate a team that isn't motivated at the moment? How can you embed that kind of culture where, motivation is consistently at a higher level than what it is right now? And that kind of theme flows through most of that course, really, where we talk about high performance management. Again, how can you create that culture of high performance within the team on an ongoing basis, not just for the short term, but for the long term. So it truly is the culture within the team. Again, developing staff, maximising performance, very much the same thing in terms of the philosophy there. Presenting with impact, that's something slightly different. That's where we talk about, as an AP manager, you probably will have to do presentations to senior finance leaders, and you will, for instance, in the UK, when we do the reporting on payment practices, I know lots of AP managers who have to do that as a presentation to their CFO or their financial controller, whoever it may be, and they didn't necessarily enjoy presenting, but this is where we talk about how you can improve your presenting skills, how you can prepare for presentations, and how you can put them forward in an effective way. Then we talk about KPIs. I'm sure most people on this webinar will be familiar with KPIs coming from payables backgrounds. So I know lots of organisations take it too far and maybe have KPIs to measure other KPIs, for instance. But KPIs can be very effective if they're used in the right way. And so, within this course, we talk about how, they can be effective and which KPIs are effective and how they can be applied, how they can be measured, and how they can actually contribute to a better business performance, and which is obviously what everyone wants from KPIs anyway. And then finally, complaints handling in accounts payable. How can you manage the complaints process? Because I'm sure, as AP professionals, you've probably come across one or two complaints in the past from suppliers who are wanting to get their invoices paid. So how can you manage that process effectively? Maintain the relationship with that supplier, or even if it's an internal stakeholder. So we look at how you can be an effective manager of complaints, and also how you can feed that down to your team to make sure that they are effectively managing those complaints that come through as well, if they do. So again, with that course, as I mentioned, 40 hours roughly in terms of study time. There's a final exam at the end, which is multiple choice questions, and there's a pass rate of, a pass mark of 80% that needs to be achieved in order to get through the exam. Once you do pass the exam, your certificate's awarded to you immediately, so it's a digital certificate that you get. But we also do send the certificates through the post, so you will receive a hard copy of the certificate. Now I'm just going to show everyone a little bit more about the kind of delivery element of the program. So all of our courses sit within what's called the IFOL Virtual Academy. So all of our programs are educational material, live classes, all that kind of stuff is delivered through the academy. So if you're not a user of the academy, or you're not a member at the moment, that's where to go to get access to our resources. Within the academy, it's a 24/7 access thing, so you can jump in and out whenever you want to. Content within there is a mix of audio, live and on-demand classes. So we have tutors who actually deliver live classes, and they are recorded, so you can catch up on them if you need to. And all of our tutors do come from either procurement or finance backgrounds. So whether it's the ACAPP program that we're talking about now, whether it's a procure to pay program that we also offer, you will be able to jump into live classes and ask questions as well with those tutors. The materials are available as text, written modules, or there are also presentations that you can go through as well. And then all of this is available on all devices at all times. So if you find yourself on the train coming home and you've got 15 minutes to spare, you can jump into one of the classes, or you can catch up on one of the previously recorded classes, or you can make your way through some of the materials, or submit assignments, etc. Just using your mobile phone. So it's very accessible, very easy to navigate. It's a very world-class system really for delivering course content. So finally, in terms of student support, we do a lot in this area. So we're very forthcoming when it comes to supporting our students through their studies and then through their continuous education as well. So if you were to enroll in one of the programs, you would get a dedicated account manager from day one. Christian's one of our account managers, so he may be looking after you. He'll be available, or any other account manager that's allocated to you will be available by phone and email, and just there to support you. So if you've got any questions to do with, your onboarding, your enrolment, your accessing your course materials, accessing your certificate, anything like that, your account manager is there to support you at all times, and that's included with your enrolment. And then secondly, support forums. I think this is something that's really attractive to a lot of our students. Essentially every month we put on a live support forum, which is where one or two of our students or members will talk about some key challenges that they've faced, or some achievements that they've recently had. And it gives the opportunity for all of our students and members to come together, ask any particular questions, share best practices, do some peer-to-peer learning, talk about different challenges that they're facing, and help each other out with different solutions. So there's a mix there of being able to get answers to support queries on the course, but also being able to gain knowledge from other members that maybe previously been through the course, or discuss topics that are actually outside of the course and things that aren't specifically mentioned within the course, but are affecting you and your organisation or your team at the moment. And then finally, as part of from a support element, if you are a student or you are a member, we have community events that you can join, online virtual events, and in particular, at the end of the year, we have an AGM, which is where we invite all of our students and members, and that's where we give recognition to those that have completed the course. We have various awards for outstanding achievements, employers that have supported their teams through their continuous education, and various other really exciting awards and recognition that we give to you guys who do go through the process of becoming certified. So from a support aspect, you are fully supported from day one, as soon as you become a student or a member with us. So from moving forward from there, Christian, what would be the next steps, I suppose, in terms of, if there was someone that wanted to enrol, what would you advise? What's the next thing they can do?
Yeah, I'm just checking. Can you hear me? Because unfortunately my internet went down during that, I don't know if you noticed, so I'm tethering off my phone at the moment.
Yeah. No, I can hear you loud and clear.
For all of that. So yeah, I mean, you've got two choices. As I said at the start of the actual webinar, I have put my my email address in the chat. So anybody that would like to have the link sent over to them so you can sign up directly, please drop me an email and I'll send it over. The other option is you can, as you can see on the slide there, you can go directly to our website and enrol there. And the other thing, if you have got any further questions and you're still unsure, I appreciate a few people dropped a couple in the chat for you, Sam. But as I say, if you're unsure and you just really want to have a chat with me, just drop me an email. We'll arrange a call and just put some clarity to those queries for you. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, anyone that wants to move forward, then obviously Christian's details are in the chat. Or you can head to the website to take the next step in enrolment, or give us a call or an email. In terms of questions, there's one question that I've seen come through, which was to do with, is the course self-paced, or do you have to learn at a certain pace? The course itself is entirely self-paced, so you can log in and move at whatever pace is comfortable for you. The live classes are a supplement to the actual program, so you don't have to attend any of the live classes if you don't want to, but they are, really beneficial. We get really good feedback from students who attend the classes, and it gives you an opportunity to ask any questions that you do have about the course content as well, and prepare yourself for the final exam. So yeah, it's absolutely learn at your own pace. 12 months access to the course once you enrol. Or if you do the entire program, which is the foundation and management courses together, that would give you 18 months access to complete. And roughly that would,
Sorry, someone asked a question here. They said, what happens if they start the exam?
if they fail the exam. So if you do get to that point and unfortunately don't pass the exam or reach the 80% pass mark, then you do get an extra chance at completing the exam and passing. What actually happens is the course or the system will realise or notice where in the exam you've essentially not done so well, and will point you back to the relevant parts of the course, then talk about those areas, so that you are essentially revising the areas where you've not done so well in the exam, essentially. And then you come back and you'll be allowed to retake the exam. Yeah, there's no additional charge for that. The second retake is included. But I would mention that in terms of our students, because of how well the course material prepares you for the exam and the live classes prepare you, and we ask you to do revision before the exam, our first time pass rate I think is at now just over 98%. So it's a significant pass rate that we have, that we're really proud of.
Fantastic. Well, I haven't seen any others come through. I'm not sure if you've got one your end or not, Matt. But I say now I'm not sure my internet's working properly.
No other questions that I can see at the moment. But as we mentioned, Christian, your email address is in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to get directly in touch with Christian, or contact us through the website.
Awesome. Well, thank you all very much, and enjoy the rest of your